Hey guys, so I was going to talk about some spirituality and try to make a video, but quite frankly, spirituality is one of those very vague topics. I don't really know how to really single spirituality into one single specific thing, because spirituality is many different things. I know a lot of people are getting into this, and they kind of have some idea about what spirituality is. And to be honest, the more I'm into this field, the less I know how to really define spirituality, because it's so broad. A lot of things are very spiritual, I want to say. For instance, energy is everything. We are all energy. We all emit energy. We all perceive energy in some way, shape, or form, through expression, through interaction with someone else, through motion. We're all like energy workers, essentially, naturally, actually. So I had this whole like spiel I was gonna do about an intro to spirituality, but quite frankly, it's kind of hard for me to do that. I don't think right now is the best time for me to make a kind of video about that. So what I'm actually gonna do is just ramble on about some spiritual stuff and what I feel as though like people may expect, or some random tips and whatnot. So yeah. On a macro level, I would say I feel like spirituality can definitely heal the planet as well as the population. Even some of the animals on the planet. Even all the animals on the planet. A lot of healing and awareness can be brought with more of the metaphysical being imbued in everyday lives, which brings me to like the micro level scale of spirituality. Once again, it can bring a lot of healing. Sorry. It can bring a lot of healing and awareness to, your everyday lives. And I think most of all, that's what's really important, because we have so much trauma as a species on this planet in our everyday lives that the world is constantly changing, but it can go in a way that's either detrimental for us all or beneficial for us all. And we choose which direction we want to go, collectively and individually in our everyday lives. It starts with the individual, after all. Rome wasn't built in a day, and not one person built Rome. So there you have it. With more people getting into this field, I do feel as though there needs to be more awareness, but not just any kind of awareness. There needs to be more practicality with how this field works, and there needs to be more research done, like officially. And because this is the kind of field where you can easily get lost in, and being lost in this field can easily end up hurting you if you don't know what you're doing. That may seem a little daunting for people who are like brand new to this field. Something is like on me. I don't know what is on me. Sorry about that. This may seem a little bit daunting for people who are brand new to this field, and I completely understand, because a lot of this is very much unknown. However, as long as you have somebody or some people around you who you can talk to, and people who understand what you're going through and can help you with what's going on with you, then I feel as though becoming lost is less of a possibility. However, if you're somebody like myself who had to go through this alone, it's very difficult. It's very, very, very difficult to not get lost in this field. And by lost, I mean because spirituality is so broad. Spirituality is everything quote unquote good and everything quote unquote bad. It's all of that. And you can easily run into something that can, let's say for instance, if you don't know anything about psychic protection or about, having a grid or a shield up in your home, if you're someone like myself who is like physically sensitive to the energies around you and you don't know how to shoot yourself, that can actually affect you mentally and emotionally in a very deep and harmful way. Because of all the energies that are affecting you, you become very influenced by these energies, and you don't know what to do because nobody's told you anything about what's going on. And I feel as though there needs to be more like accurate information out there. There is a lot of fluff, I hate to say it. There is a lot of fluff in the spiritual community, and I feel as though I just don't want anyone else to get lost in that kind of thing, because no one else should have to suffer from something they don't understand. That just makes it the whole progression in the metaphysical and integrating that into the normalcy of society, it makes all of that very difficult. One thing that's important to develop if you're going into this field is discernment. Discernment is one of the most important aspects of spirituality, because it's important for you to discern information that is either correct or information that resonates with you, instead of receiving information that doesn't. Because not every information that's out there is good for you specifically. It may be good for someone else, but it might not be good for you. I want to make more videos like this on my channel, because with all of the experience I've gone through, I have learned a lot in this field. And I know with as much as I've learned, I know that there's so much more out there. And so I want to be able to create a safe space for people where they can come to this channel and can just express themselves in a way where they don't have to hide themselves. They can feel safe expressing themselves. I feel as though that's really important to me, but it's also important to other people that, you know, they feel the same way. I think hiding something like this away from the world because you're afraid of rejection is one of the most harmful actions you can do to yourself. I think being afraid and buying into that fear instead of actually expressing who you actually are causes a small death in yourself, really. If I can make people feel better, I would want to do that. People shouldn't have to feel that way. I feel as though we have enough problems in the world because of that. And if more people could actually just open up and just be themselves, the world would be a far better place than what it is now. And I get that there's a lot of things people don't understand, but with new knowledge come new solutions. This is why I feel as though the metaphysical really can help shape the world and make it a better place. If you want to find answers to questions nobody solved, then look a place that you've never looked before. It's not that hard to figure out. Most people don't look in the metaphysical, spiritual for answers because they don't really believe in that kind of stuff. Mostly, not everybody. People like us do. People like us experience it, and we're sharing our experiences with the world. I feel as though the more we share our experiences, the easier it is for everyone to share new solutions to old problems, and possibly even new ones. I just feel as though there's a better way for our world to exist than the way it is now. And I know for a fact the world could be a lot better than what it is. I do. I can sense it, actually. But it doesn't mean things will just go that way. Everyone has to chip in and make it better. But you start with yourself and make yourself better, however that might be. You know? The more awareness there is, the more you acknowledge, the more you can change. And the better things can be. However, if acknowledgement loses to fear, then the cycle just continues. And I want to prevent that. So that's kind of my whole idea with talking about this kind of stuff on my channel. I know it's kind of windy, it's kind of long-winded, and maybe a bit too idealistic, but that's what resonates with me. So, whatever. See you guys next time.